Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome back to All Quiet in the Trenches. This is episode number 2 of a new Let's Play for this one. Now, how long this game will persist as a Let's Play is going to largely depend on what happens in the first episodes and whether the algorithm will give it any sort of boost, because this is a pretty niche game. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more of it, please take a moment, drop a low, click that like button, and leave a comment to help with the algorithm as we get started and continue on here with the series. We're at the end of March. We're almost a month into the war for our young squad of soldiers that we are overseeing and leading. We've gone from 4 men to 5. We've got them recovered from their first battle, but we have tasks to do here at the end of the month. Finally, took you long enough, Herr Unteroffizier. Major ordered the start of the offensive this morning. Fortunately, we don't get a chance to win fame and honor just yet. We're in reserve for the time being. Make sure your men are ready to move out at all times. After all, we don't want to disappoint the Major once it's finally our turn. The officers are dissatisfied with me because by now, even the quality of their rations is suffering from the current supply bottlenecks. I have a suggestion. How the both of us could help each other through a trade. Are you interested? If you give me some of your canned meat and have a man move all of it, I'll give you bigger bread rations for your people in return. While this will make your rations more boring, you will end up with significantly more daily rations than before. Do we have a deal? Sure. Let's help him out. Wonderful, you just made my life a lot easier. These higher officers can get surprisingly petty when they don't get what they want. So, trade provisions, that's going to take 1 soldier. And Nurse Elizabeth also needs to talk with us. Herr Unteroffizier, do you have a minute? We need your help with something here in the hospital. Tuesday, March 30th. Thank you for taking the time, Herr Unteroffizier. Sister Elizabeth seemed tense. Even though the field hospital did not seem too crowded at the moment, please follow me. She motioned and led me past the hospital towards a barren patch of land with a series of shallow ditches dug in a line. Graves. I heard there's a new offensive coming. Elizabeth paused and turned towards me with the dire seriousness in her eyes and pointed towards graves. Well, we're going to need a lot more of those. Do you think you could spare some of your men to dig more of them? Yes, we'll help her out. Especially at the moment, we have the ability to do so. See the relief in her eyes when that load came off her soldiers' shoulders. Thank you so much, Herr Unteroffizier. You're not just helping the hospital, you're helping everyone who comes through here, perhaps even yourself. If we run out of space for the dead, we also run out of space and time for those who might still be saved. She gave me a tired smile, gently squeezed my arm, and slowly made her way back to the field hospital. I was hoping that was going to be it, but there is more. Somebody else needs to talk to us as well. The cook. For the most part, we were able to defend our food stocks, Herr Unteroffizier, but the rats keep coming. Supply is slowly running low. I loathe giving the men insufficient rations, but it could become necessary soon. I hope you can make sure that won't happen. We're not forced into it. I think we should just stay... Oh my gosh, there's more! Oh, again! Lieutenant, we have a few prisoners of war in our camp and need guarding until they can be moved to a prison. Until then, it will be your responsibility. That's 7 events. We got 5 guys. The pest control, still not under control. And that's the one that's going to have to wait. The others have to happen immediately. After my deal with the field attendant, Zelensky could only give out extremely small portions of meat. While the rations were being distributed, some of the men grumbled discontentedly about the situation. I'll explain the trade I made. Explain the trade I made to them. Less meat for us in exchange for more other rations that would nourish us longer. It took some time to calm them down, but eventually the men accepted my explanation. Some nodded in agreement. Others seemed rather sniveling, but no one showed any resentment. Proceed roughly a week. For my deal with field... Danner had settled in effortlessly in my regards. As a professional soldier, many things came very easily to him that other new soldiers had difficulties with. He had even become a kind of mentor to some of his comrades, whom he could help out with his wealth of experience. However, word had already got around that he was Alsatian, basically a Frenchman, as some people put it. Even in his presence. One evening he stood in front of my tent and asked for a word. Herr Unteroffizier, is my origin a problem for you? He asked straightforwardly in his somewhat peculiar Alsatian dialect. Not in the slightest. He nodded contentedly, looked relieved. Glad to hear that. It does wear on me a bit, the way some of the men seem to think about me. You know, I come from a family of soldiers. I was a soldier before this war started. I'm proud of what I do. Rightly so. On to Sunday, April 11th. I've been here more than a month now. Madame Laroche, speaker of the nearby French village, greeted me with some reservation, quickly cut to the chase of why she'd come to meet. Your cannons have been thundering day and night, and the villagers are scared, she explained. Especially the younger children are suffering. It was only in that moment that it occurred to me that our artillery truly had been firing almost non-stop for some time now. Of course, the distant, if constant, rumbling paled in comparison to the actual impacts we faced on the battlefield, and I had long learned to put the noise out of my mind, or perhaps my hearing had just gotten that bad. Do you perhaps know how long this will continue? Madame Laroche asked carefully. So we have options. Not about spilling military secrets until the Major decides it's been enough. It'll be sometime yet, I'm afraid. We recently launched an offensive. I think she'll appreciate the explanation. I don't think that's actually giving away anything in particular. Hopefully. I understand, she sighed and hung her head. Thank you for letting me know, Monsieur. At least now we know what to expect. We remained in silence for a few moments, but something was clearly weighing on her. Is there anything else I could do for you? She forced a tired smile. No, thank you. We'll get by on our own. After that, she said her goodbyes and turned away. Checking in on the men on how they are doing at this point. Our relation with the new man, Casper Pedersen, is neutral. He wants to visit the village pub. We have some negative events, but nothing bad, but he's overall not terribly hit. Or terribly happy, that is. Bellinger, still, he's straight. He needs a rest. We've given him so much rest. I don't know how he hasn't recovered. He's still full of negative events and still contemptuous. Not a happy person. Danner, he's content. He is still tired. He has had negative events. He would like to visit the pub. We are neutral. He is optimistic, at least. Cumberbunt, still very tired. Like, how are these guys so tired? We've literally been resting for weeks. I don't understand how they're so tired. He's clumsy, slow, but attentive. Lotsa, exhausted. Surrounded by negative events. These guys have not been happy for some time. Hennig, still haven't been resupplied. Let's hope it won't take too long. Zelensky, doing what I can, but I will never be able to handle the rats on my own. Please assign some of your men to help, else we lose more food. And Carlsbrook, point 2 men to the patrol boundaries of our camp. We're on guard duty. Danner, latrine is filled to the brim. Someone should take care of that before it overflows. Also Danner, there's a pub in the village. Pedersen and I would like to visit with your permission. Well, we have 5 tasks. A trip to the pub, though, only has 1 day to potentially happen. So, do we do the 3 that need to happen and put off the pest control 1 more day, and then have our trip to the pub? The morale is super low, and I do think we need to take care of the men, so that pest control is going to have to wait. I prevent loss of food, and food loss is rather low, but it was Pedersen. The rest will do the other tasks. For the men. Cumberbutt had been getting drunk all evening with some of his comrades. It was already late when all of a sudden he bellowed into the crowd. It's no use. How much longer are we going to die here in the mud for this wretched Frenchman? The soldiers around him fell silent. Some looked over at me. Yeah, we are definitely going to... it's my job to be there for him. I got up, sat down next to him, and said to him, "Soldier, you mustn't lose heart. We need you here just as much as any of your comrades. Sleep it off, and tomorrow the world will already look brighter again." "You're right," he mumbled, and then staggered into his tent. After a while, the other soldiers resumed their conversations, and soon they retreated to their tents. That was a good outcome. Friday, late April now, month and a half at the front. Wellinger came hurrying toward me, clearly upset and with blood-stained uniform. "Herr Unteroffizier, you've seen the sorry state of the field hospital. Just helped carry one of the wounded who couldn't make it on his own to the field hospital. Injured are everywhere. The beds are overflowing." I'd known With the intense fighting the last few days, a lot of injured were passing through our camp, but I think the state of the hospital had already gotten so bad, and asking if there's nothing that can be done. I'll look into it. No guarantees. Last thing people that feel hospital need right now is more chaos. Villager nodded and began nervously walking up and down the camp. I should probably talk to Elizabeth soon to see if we can help. Back to a good mood. That was why we did that. Back to a good mood. We have a new additional Florian Mayel joined the squad. We added some positive events. Well rested now. Down to just tired. Negative events decreased. Strained has been removed. Comradely for 3 or 2 of the mid. The third one's right behind there. That's Pedersen just there. Buff visit removed. Changed to exhausted. So one guy got more tired. But good mood has been added. And hospital overburdened. See what else we have to do. We'd like to get that pest control complete. We've already done it, but it's now been around for a while. Supply came in, shipment was smaller than I expected. I had some of my reserve to make up the difference so these soldiers won't starve. Thank you. So we have just enough. Low food and low supply removed. That's good. What do you have for us, Von Karsbrook? Really lifted a finger. Come on. I give you a job I expect it to be done properly, carried out. I thought that was clear, but apparently you need yet another reminder of that. I expect you to establish order in your group. And we're down to just happy. So he wasn't terribly thrilled with Cumberbund's performance. Field laundry can't keep up with the demand to relieve them. Your unit will be responsible for keeping their uniforms clean by themselves. Remember that Army standards are to be upheld nonetheless. Only one guy for laundry duty, that's good. I'm doing what I can. Please assign some of your men high prestige. Down from exceptional, but it's still high prestige. Laundry duty. Let's see where we're at on the guys. Who's not talking to the nurse yet because we wanted to recover, but soon we might go talk to her. Casper Pedersen caught my eye at dinner. He was stirring listlessly in the stew and kept peering into the other bowls. After dinner, he complained to Zelensky that there had not been enough meat in his portion. Do we just confirm with him or tell him to leave others alone? We'll press it further. No, it wasn't, he simply said. For that kind of thing, you talk to me in the future. There you go. Zelensky nodded eagerly. He was visibly uncomfortable with the situation. Well then, I want more meat, Pedersen now prompted me. It took him a few moments to add, Herr Unteroffizier, exception for you. Very well, you will get. He shouldn't be treated differently. We have to be careful to manage our supplies. I'm not going to make him happy here at the cost of everybody else. But I am from Schleswig. We are Danes, retorted Pedersen, as if that would change the situation. You are German now. Now we're in the same boat. We're in the same boat, not just that raw patriotism. Now we're in the same boat, I said, and put my hand on his shoulder. I hope you see it the same way, Pedersen nodded. It seemed a little mechanical, and I could tell he was still very unsure. It would certainly take some time to gain his trust. In any case, he was very obviously aware that my conciliatory gesture did not change anything about his empty cookware. I wouldn't expect him to be happy, but at least he didn't come out of it mad. One of my men, had made no secret of his previous work as a master brewer. Since he joined our troop, he often seemed to be thinking about his family and their brewery at home. He told everyone, whether they wanted to hear it or not, about his plans after the war. It seemed to be my turn today. He had been chattering away for a while. Probably helped him, took his mind off things. No harm in holding on to the hope that he would soon be able to return to his normal life. When soon comrades joined the conversation, I took my leave and returned to my own tasks. Negative events decreased, positive events were removed, so we're neutral. Negative events increased, changed relation to comradely, and changed to strained, but dropped. Overall, things are getting better. We still have laundry duty for the time being. For the most part, we were able to defend our food stocks, but the rats keep coming. Are you kidding me? It's ridiculous. Deal with the rats. Men need to turn them into food. Trading stock, here we go again. Okay, we'll take stock. That's 5 men assigned. We only have 1 left. And Major has finally given us the marching orders. We're going to battle soon. About time. I hope you kept your people ready and ordered. I expect you and your men to give it your all in the field, Herr Unteroffizier. This is our chance to chase the French out of the trenches once and for all. We are able to get on with it, with the engagement 1 turn from now. The 3 with the low morale are going to have to help out with the pest control this time. Friday, May the 7th, we were preparing for the imminent operation a few days from now. The mood was tense enough, but it seemed to weigh particularly hard on Vellinger. When he heard of our upcoming deployment, he turned pale, and the fear had not left his eyes since. Let's tell him to pull himself together. You're a soldier now. Danger is part of your life. Get used to it. Of course. Those words, he had already turned back to his desk. Essentially unchanged there. Hearing him out might make things worse. For days now, Vellinger had been sitting next to his comrades every evening without a word and with a vacant stare. He neither joked with them nor did he take part in the usual evening entertainment such as playing cards. The tasks assigned to him were also carried out in a dull and listless manner. Let's speak to him about it this time. In an undisturbed moment, sat down next to him and addressed him. Is everything all right with you? He looked up at me from his empty eyes. He seemed surprised that I was asking about his condition so straightforwardly. Then he sighed and replied, Herr Unteroffizier, what is all this for? What's the point of us being here? Defending the homeland. It's got to be about your comrades. The homeland, it's not what you feel in the moment. Try to be strong for them. He straightened his soldiers. Maybe you're right, and I shouldn't let myself go like this. After all, we're all in this mess together, and hopefully we'll also manage to come out of it together. We sat together in silence for a few more moments, then Vellinger got up and went to bed without a word. The following days, he seemed a little less withdrawn. Maybe my words had helped him a bit, or maybe it had just been a matter of time. Thought we had the call, but still not yet. Sunday, May 16th, over 2 months now, at the front. Sunday service usually lifted the spirits in camp, especially among the more religious of the men. Accordingly, I was relieved when the military chaplain finally came by. They rushed to hear him. As usual, Cumberbunt was first among the pious congregating at the service. Still, a small procession passed me by. Brief chat. You know, Herr Unteroffizier, I think I could lead a sermon too. Before I came here, I studied theology after all, and we would no longer have to wait for another man to undertake this arduous journey. He was beaming from ear to ear, but he quickly caught himself and turned somber once more. Those are your orders? Of course I accept, he told me with a respectful bow before hurrying to catch up with the other soldiers. Men, tomorrow we march to battle, announced Lieutenant von Karlsbruck. He had summoned all his subordinate officers to discuss the upcoming operation. Their fear of what might come was clearly palpable, but most of them did their best to cover it up with their heads high and chests puffed up with pride. The goal of our mission is to conquer and hold the next trench line, he explained the plan. So far, there was no difference to most attack plans, but we have an ace up our sleeve. Our artillery is in position, just waiting to cut off reinforcements from the enemy. I expect you to use this advantage aggressively and decisively. Do not disappoint me. At your command, Lieutenant, the officers around me expressed with varying degrees of enthusiasm. We joined them, and he nodded satisfied, saluted, and dismissed us. Morale is up to an excellent mood somehow, and the high prestige remains. Negative events have decreased or been removed for some. Tired of war was removed. Nice. Camaraderie. We did a lot to recover that morale during this time. Not completely. We still have a strained soldier with us, but otherwise, things are good. And we now have an excellent mood. And it's time. May the 17th, we're going to head to the front. Next level. Back to the trenches. This time, apparently, on the offensive. All groups are in position. The attack can begin. Forward march. Over the river. It was just Greek before. We're trying to retake the lines, right? Do task. Cross the river. That's the only mission at the moment. So we want to move forward cautiously, but we want to move forward. Okay, we're gonna have barbed wire if we go there, medium cover from there, and there. And we have a unit on our flank. If we advance to here, that's not gonna help us too much. And we already have units on our flanks here and here, so I suppose we advance to here. Low danger. This time we have 6 men in the squad, so this is going to give us a much greater opportunity to carry out various tasks, such as provide cover, support one another. One's going to have to cut the barbed wire if we're going to move forward through there. So we are under strong fire. Moderate cover has been added, movable obstacles added, and away from the battle has been removed. Tasks are going to largely go to... Actually, we want somebody who's low. Lower morale, like Lotsa and Vellinger are the lowest, so Vellinger is going to go ahead and cut the barbed wire. Okay, we have troops on our flank. Friendly troops. So at least a couple units out front and on our right flank. So that German's moving up into position. It is, our right flank is very active. So 6 troops and an additional 6 over there. So 12 troops in all. Ranger has... Damn tangle of barbed wire. I didn't manage to cut it completely. So we still have not cleared the position while other troops are on our left. We could theoretically advance into this position, going around the barbed wire, and it's low danger from there, so let's go ahead and advance to that position. Alright, now we're starting to get faced with danger. So 2 units on our right flank. One's providing suppressive fire, so is the other at the moment. We have a unit of French here that is able to fire on us. There are 5 soldiers in that unit. Here we have 5 active soldiers, a bit further behind in the trenches, and an additional 5 there. Farther off is another unit of 5. For now, there is the river, so we can just about advance, but right now it would be difficult to advance there. This might be a little bit easier if we were to advance to that position. Here we could get supplies if we advance to there, but there's no cover, and I'm not a fan of that, so we might want to take our moderate danger and cross the river to get that moderate cover. We would have an open look on somebody's flank where we're in a better position. It's narrow cover though. Okay, we've done it. We've crossed. Open fire, drive the French out of their trenches and occupy them. That's our first task complete. Light stress has been added to 2 men. Change to strain. Low cover added. Narrow cover added. Change to under strong fire, and enemies on the flank has removed, so they already retreated out of that position. And here we are. We have 2 French positions to try to suppress, or we can provide covering fire. We're going to be able to do 2 of those tasks, but not all 3. This is German troop 2. 2 would be providing covering fire 4, which gets them up into an advanced position. 3 is the one in the most dangerous position. First heavy engagement of the war. All we had this time was well rested, removed. We did allow our unit to advance into the trenches, so we have supported them, and we now have to suppress 2 and 5. Not even 3 this time. There's 5. We want to try to advance our position. Apparently we need to stay put. Fire superiority added, there you go. And we're changed to under moderate fire. So we've decreased the fire that we're taking We now have fire superiority. That's what we needed. That's what we needed. So, checking now. These guys are giving fire suppression. There's fire superiority. Both of these units. I'm guessing there might be some wounded now. Let's check in. There's 4 active soldiers there. Number 1. These guys have... Therefore, firing. No one's wounded. No one's wounded here. There is 1 wounded. So we've wounded 1 man in group number 5. 4 also has 1 guy wounded. And on our flank, we've seen this group progress. And the other one is probably further out. I'm assuming that's that back there. I'm just noticing here's the number of how many men there are. Do we want to advance? From now, we're just at general suppression, so there's nothing to gain in the short term from this position. Bleeding has been added. Lightly wounded has been added to Mael. The new guy. Suppressing this group who's already got 1 wounded. Throw a grenade. Pedersen. Mael was wounded on the way here. We have to help him. He's got to get to us, right? Let's hope he reaches us. So 3 and 5 are the 2 that we are engaged with. Here we go. Big moment. Big moment in the fight here. We have German troops in the trench flanking them. Oh, we've had another. We have 2 wounded now. And we have somebody avenging the wounded comrade. Oh my. This was supposed to be a good spot to be in. Danner. He's hit again. I'm bleeding. Help. I need help. Okay, first aid for Danner. So that's good. We can do that. Pedersen's gonna throw the hand grenade. Let's go with the bunt for the first aid. Try to retreat back. Still having to give first aid, or maybe not. Let's see. Connor's bleeding is almost stopped here with our officer. I won't need much longer. Trenches, though. We do have low troops in the trenches. Pedersen. Enemy is getting reinforcements. Wasn't our artillery supposed to stop them? We're in a dangerous position here. It's 2 units right, 3 units right in front of us. And we've got troops on the flank covering them, but no one's getting help. There are men down there, so I mean, at least there's that. Bleeding has been removed, so we're down to 1 wounded. That's good. Back up to 5. We may have to fall back from this position, or do we advance? Nice. Our other guy, I think, is retreating to the field hospital. Again, check it in. 1 wounded there. They're down to just 3. Okay, so they are losing soldiers. They've lost 2. So that group is nearly handled. Meanwhile, this one is also down to just 3. And we still have 6 on their flank. And we still have this group here pushing. Everybody else is advancing for the moment. We've been rather stuck. What is it to advance? Extreme danger. No way are we going that way. Tactical movement here is very low danger. It might be a good thing to take that position and help finish off these guys. Meanwhile, this group is getting weaker, but yeah, I think we need to move to our next spot. And the French are on the move. We might be able to get in the trenches here in a moment. Unit on the flank has moved forward. They've got them under. These guys both have moved back, so we can finally advance into the trench. Moderate danger. That's where we need to be. Finally into the trench. 2 going to the left there. Not a smart position, but the French are retreating. Wow, that was close. Heads Cannons down. Artillery. Second task complete. Advance into the trenches. We are down one man who is retreating back. Otherwise, so far, so good. Now we have to defend position in the trenches. Thunder of the cannons comes from our side. Our own artillery is shooting at us. Very common. All the way into Vietnam. I was a scout, 19 Delta, in the Army. More scouts died from friendly fire than enemy fire in Vietnam. So, friendly fire is a real threat at all times. Our unit on our left flank has already advanced. We are now into the trenches, and we need to defend, which we have these guys right here on us. Is that more French troops over here to the right, though? What can we do? Search, well, search knapsack. There's only one guy left in that position from the look of it. Able to find some ammunition. And now these guys are pushed to the right, so we can make our tactical movement here. No danger, well covered. Press on. The artillery barrage does not change your orders. Defend positions is the task, and here comes a group. So there's now more than just one guy here, so we're into close combat. Right now the risk of injury is low, so we can stay put. We've got them pinned down. We're in the much stronger position. Let's hope we can take down the two of them and force them to retreat. They are retreating. Looks like we're getting wounded of them. Maybe not. Lightly wounded. Somebody got wounded on our side. So Bellinger is taking cover. Pedersen is the one wounded here. Don't have three guys to suppress. Is it going to let us do that? Let's see what we have for events here. Bellinger, way too dangerous. I'll keep my head down. He is not going to follow orders. Pedersen. I'm hit, I'm bleeding. Help, I need help. Don't have enough guys to suppress them, so we're going to have to go to general. That group has 6. That group has 1 wounded. That group's down to 3. Oh, we have an order to retreat. The attack was a disaster, but the lieutenant finally gave the order to retreat back to our trenches. Okay, well, we're gonna have to wait one turn because we're giving first aid. I mean, definitely can't retreat right now. I'll be a later for him if I go down. I'm sorry, I'm staying with him. We gotta take cover one more turn. It looks like Bellinger still staying down. Into close combat. Time to retreat. Time to retreat. Still have units on both sides. This one is a strong position, and we might have more support if we retreat that way, as opposed to here. What does this one look like? Moderate danger. We'll have enemies on the flank, but we'll be flanking some of them. Low protection from artillery, that's all. From here, it's low danger, moderate cover, though we would be in grenade range. And we can find equipment. There you go, okay. Tanner's gonna have to catch up. Move to the right just does not seem like a direction we're gonna be able to get anytime soon. There's only 2 units to the left. This is the area we need to retreat. Look who's got the French right on him now. We gotta keep retreating. Those two will get there if they get there. Oh, Danner's surrendered. Danner is surrendering. Well, that's too bad. We're losing a guy. Will we lose a second, or will he join us? We're down to 3 guys plus the 1 wounded here in a moment. I shouldn't have left Danner to get the supplies. He should have followed us immediately. He didn't, though. Seriously wounded is now added. But that's male. Back to the trenches. Retreat. Exhausted and disheartened, we dragged ourselves back to camp. Struggle and hardship had cut deep. We might have survived this day, but hardly anyone could feel joy about it. The memory of Mail, who would not return from the field, was present in all our minds. The burden of our grief was only now truly felt in the quiet of the camp. The whereabouts of Danner were unknown. We had lost him somewhere on the battlefield and could only hope that he would turn up again. We had just barely reached our tents when Lieutenant Van Carsbrook was already strutting up. He looked dissatisfied, but when our eyes met his expression softened a little. Ah, Herr Unteroffizier. What a shame we had to retreat. But at least it wasn't because of you and your people, he said, while his reproachful gaze watched the ranks of the other returning soldiers. We're doing our best, I assured him. And the Kaiser and Vaterland are proud of you, he replied distractedly and patted me awkwardly on the shoulder. His gaze was already fixed on the next group that had arrived, and it suggested there wouldn't even be much empty praise waiting for them. With a brief keep it up, he turned away, finally freeing me to take care of my men again. Mael looked like he had retreated to camp, so we're hoping that he will make it out of this, but Danner has surrendered and may not be seen again. That might be it. Overall, we did not come out of this in terrible shape. We still have it. We're actually up to exceptional prestige once again, and this time the mood is good. That all is better, but we're at minimum down a man, if not down 2. That's a little worrying. We should have new ones coming, but the more you have in the squad, the easier things are. But at least we came out of this more or less in one piece. Disappointing that I chose to have Danner do the supplies and then leave him behind. We needed to just, as a group, retreat back, and we would have been much better for it. I know that for next time now. That is going to do it for this episode, though. Like I said, the first couple episodes are the most important. Actually, it's 3 episodes that are most important for the algorithm. So please, if you like this and you want to see more of it, take a moment, drop below, click that like button, leave a comment to help with the algorithm, and that way it'll give this chance to be a long series. Otherwise, that's going to do it for this one. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.